Let's just do that.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, we
had to start over a couple minutes in.
Wildly Uninteresting
Yeah.
podcast episode number 114. Welcome back to the show. I'm Adam. That's Ian. That's Sarah.
Hi.
We've done a whole introduction that never got recorded, but you know what? Fuck yourself. I hope you're listening. I hope you like it. I hope you love what we bring to the table. No facts at all, just opinion based. Back on track with that.
So to answer your question,
Yeah, what do you do? Let me re-ask the question. What
they
do you
don't need
do
to know. They can put it together.
when the
they?
week is just under pressure, right?
Yeah.
You've had the worst week in the world. You get down to the weekend. Like, what do you do? Because sometimes, like, it'd take the life out of you just to get to the weekend, knowing that you got to go and do it again on Monday.
Shoot up
What do you
heroin.
do? I see a lot of people. Like, I feel like that's why they use drugs. But,
I listen to Bad Religion, and
Yeah.
then I'll start just researching things.
And does that help? Like, for real?
It's like it takes my mind off of crap, and then it feels like I'm actually doing something worth value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I was reading an article yesterday about people with what's that anxiety where you can't be in front of
Asperger's.
people,
Oh.
like social anxiety, right? Or like a social disorder. Well, they said that like refraining from going out, because the buildup and the causing yourself pain, not going out and seeing people,
Yeah.
actually makes it worse. Like the more you don't like put yourself into those positions and get yourself like, you know, at least uncomfortable enough to be in front of people, it actually makes it worse. Kind of like taking ibuprofen or taking nose spray. It makes the condition worse.
Well, that's why they say that aversion therapy. That's not what that's called. That's when you beat the gay out of people. I can't think of what it's called.
No,
they
that's
make
conversion therapy. Aversion
Conversion.
therapy.
Like,
Yeah.
oh,
You're
so
right.
I'm right. Okay, yay. Okay. But have you hold a bug to get over the
Yeah,
fear
so
of
here,
bugs?
hold this
Exactly.
tarantula.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know people like that's why if I'm at work or something and I'm like trying not to like have any confrontation towards a certain subject, eventually it gets worse and worse and worse, and then by the time I actually confront it, like the customer's mad and then I'm all freaked out because I think they're gonna sue us and all that shit. In reality, if you just faced it a little bit at a time or head on, it'd have been a little bit better. But the beating you down by the end of the week, man, it blows. I think because we all have that dreaded, like we have to do it again on Monday,
I like
like,
to
no
hit,
matter
hit
what.
people with the, I got good news and I got some bad news. What do you want? Yeah.
Give them the bad news first
the
and the
bad
worst
news.
news second.
The worst
So, well,
news.
the job's done, essentially,
It just ripped the
but
Band-Aid
I
off.
fucked up.
I burned
Yeah.
your house down.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, the
But I
first.
finished.
I don't know if I've ever said that on here, but oh well. The first hole I ever drilled in a roof was like 12 years. It was like a couple months ago, right? But I've been in the trade for 13 years, something like that. And I finally drilled a hole through somebody's roof. Man, it took everything in me. I was like, I'm gonna have to tell this guy. It's a very small hole, so I was like, you know, I could get away
It
with
was
not
like the
telling
size
the
of a
guy.
dime, maybe.
And he was selling the house. You know, he just needed
Yeah.
this breaker change out for a hot water heater, and I was drilling to get the circuit.
Alright.
And straight through his roof it went, man. And I've never fixed the roof or anything. And I was like, man, I'm gonna have to tell this guy. And it hurt like my soul to tell this guy, like, you know, because it looks unprofessional and shit. But I guess if you rip the Band-Aid off and just be like, hey, this is what's fucking happening,
Yeah.
it feels better
Well,
in
and
the long
shit's
run.
bound to happen sometimes. I feel like usually, specifically like with work, you're good at judging if people are solid or not, and if you don't think they are, we're not going to work for them. I'd say most of our customers, if you drilled a hole in their ceiling, they're going to be fine with it.
They'd be like, fix that shit. But yeah, and then that's the bad thing. It was like a new customer and shit. But
Yeah.
no, I don't know what people do, man. Sometimes I just feel like just, you know, blowing up a vehicle or some shit, or like burning the house down. Sometimes
why
the week gets
people-
so bad.
Go to those places where you can beat the shit out of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe that's not more prevalent. Like there's not more of them. I feel like that's like an underground secret that place is. You know?
Yeah, there's definitely only a few, and
I guess most people are like, I can just blow shit up in my backyard. Why do I have to go pay So they're just like beating shit up in
I
the
feel like
backyard.
really most people don't think to do it.
No.
Yeah.
Well, that's just stupid.
Stupid, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, that's just stupid.
We still need to do that.
Yeah, I know. We've said it a million times and never done it.
Yeah. We've fully healed. We still have shit. Let's take it out back and
Damn, that is
annihilate.
crazy. It's been like 2 years we've been saying that shit, but I think eventually we'll get to it.
Yeah.
I don't know though, man. I was just wondering how other people deal with it. I have friends that have like social anxiety and shit like that, and I just think that it doesn't make it worse when you don't put yourself in those situations. And not only that, but COVID made shit worse, and people are committing suicide
Now
more
no
often.
one knows how to interact with each other.
They don't. I think that's why there's so many videos coming out of like Karens or
flipping out,
Darrens
yeah.
or whatever, and then shootings all over, and we already had a mass shooting, shit like that.
There's been an
People don't know.
astronomical amount of mass shootings.
Yeah, dude.
An unreal number of mass
And it's
shootings.
a short amount of time.
I'm sure things are fine.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. I think you lock us up for so long. The same case goes with prisoners, guys you lock up for years and years, like 20, 25 years, right? You treat them like caged animals, and then you expect them to get out and act right, and then they don't. It's the same way with this COVID shit. Like, we're locked down for a majority of the time. I feel worse for like
I feel
India
like people
and
need
shit.
to put in their own time to do their own work.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to rely on other people to fix their shit for them, and they're like, "Oh, it's not me. The problem is the world."
Yeah.
Maybe adjust yourself. You know?
Yeah, no shit.
I have a habit of that. Like, I'm working on that now. Like, me feeling as if it's the world around me that has the issue, or that it's causing my depression, or it's causing whatever. And in reality, it's more than likely me. Like,
Yeah.
my mindset, my goals, my work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think you're right on that.
Also, I don't know. Sometimes whenever I feel like I'm not making any kind of progress at all, I
Yeah.
kind of get like that.
Oh yeah,
Kind of
it's a-
stagnant. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, ugh. But then I find something to be interested in again. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. I'm
All is
good
well.
now.
It's
Just got to
Jordan.
play through.
Jordan Peterson's biggest thing is progress. If you're not, like, that's what life's all about,
Yeah.
is progress of yourself. It doesn't even have to be of something grand that you're doing.
Yeah, just something that you label as progress.
Yeah, that you feel like you're getting somewhere. And I think that's when you stagnate in your relationship, at work, shit like that. I think a lot of people stagnate. That's what you just do. You get in a comfortable habit and you stay in it, right?
I also think it kind of ties into the idea that as a society, America has just been the kind of thing where it's like retail therapy is the
Yeah.
way. Like, if we're constantly just
Oh,
buying
yeah.
shit and, and doing whatever the hell we want, it's like, oh, I'm happy until that stops working. And it's like, oh, well, what now? I don't have a plan B.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, that flows into COVID too. Like, you're locked down, you can't go to those stores, you can't go shopping or window shopping, and it
Well,
causes.
then you
a
can
big
just
issue.
hop on Amazon, scroll through Amazon,
Buy everything.
window shop from your couch.
Yeah. I window
is
shop
rough.
all the time.
Yeah.
I never buy anything. I did buy something today, actually.
Yeah, what'd you buy?
It's a little cat fan, one of those ones that you like whips open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely one of those
Awesome.
And some D12s.
materialistic buys, one that you don't need it but you want it.
Yeah. I figured I saw it, I thought it was adorable, and I figured I'm hot all the time. Like, I'd love to have it right now. It would be fantastic. So
Out.
it is unnecessary, but it'll certainly be used.
Hell yeah.
I'm quite happy. I can't wait.
That's
I can't wait.
So you deal with your stress and shit by listening to music,
Right?
and what was the other thing?
Researching crap.
Researching. I don't even know what I think I haven't dealt with a lot in so long that I don't even know what I used to do. Like, I'm like, what have I ever done? Like, I just feel like I'm causing my own stress. I think it compounds once you cause your own, then blame it on the world around you and shit like that. I'm always talking shit about the government or whatever, but really, they don't play that much role into your life, right? I mean, on a day-to-day basis, how many times are you confronted with the government?
Well,
You know
that's
what I mean?
I was thinking. If you didn't watch stuff on TV or read about it on the internet, you'd have no idea anything's going on in the world.
Yeah, technically, it wouldn't really affect you. I mean, of course, their decisions affect taxes and all that, blah blah blah. But on the day to day, how many times are you confronted with like the government?
That is the kind of thing where, like, on a day-to-day thing, you're confronted with it typically on social media.
Yeah.
People with their idiot viewpoints are yelling shit, and you hop on, you're like, oh, I disagree, now I'm mad.
Yeah.
And then you've just
Yeah.
done it to yourself. So just avoid looking at that shit, and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's like when I get on Instagram, I feel fine. It's just pictures of watermelon and
Cool shit.
You know?
Yeah.
That's the worst is I think
I don't know
Reddit
why I'm
because
so
you not
excited.
only are you affected by the government in your own country, but then you're affected by the government in everybody else's country and their problems going on and their war and whatever. And so it's not only, and it makes you feel like that, you know, it's a worldly problem. In reality, like we have nothing to do with that over there. So why, you know, you can't change the world.
It was like when I
Right.
went through a period of a few years where I didn't pay attention to anything in the news. Just because I got tired of that shit. I was like, I'm not doing anything to fix it, so
Yeah.
why
do you
why
need
be
to
aware
know?
of it?
Yeah.
Who cares?
At all, yeah.
And then I was still miserable, but I was happier.
Happier,
Yeah.
like a different level of misery.
Yeah.
Well,
A
and
little
this shit
bit
just
better.
doesn't bother me that much. I read about it constantly and all kinds of terrible shit, and it just doesn't bother me that much.
No, it usually irritates me whenever I want something to be done about it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
all right, we could easily stop this. But then it's like, well, if we could easily do it, then it
Right.
would be
It
done.
wouldn't be happening right now. Yeah.
It is. It's baffling. I sent you that video about how American medals and everybody else's stuff. But I was wondering because you get that overwhelming feeling to want to help other countries or other people or whatever, and a lot of times, like we're in a bad situation in the United States
Definitely
as far
not
as
good.
homelessness and COVID, how we handled COVID and
Addiction.
disease, addiction, blah blah blah. Right. And
Obesity.
you think about how we worry about other people all the time. We're always putting our nose in other people's business. We're always traveling overseas to help them, and then we can't even respond to our own disasters correctly, you know. And maybe that's the way we're raised, or maybe that's the mindset of the world and whatever. Everybody's life so in shambles that we're like, well, we have to go help other people, and then it fixes us. Like,
I feel like a lot of times you're not aware of what's happening over here. Like if you're not directly seeing it, and most likely you're not unless you're living in a poorer part of the town or city, whatever you live in.
Yeah.
You're probably not really seeing it.
Berg.
Yeah. Yes, Burr. Burrow. But I know, like walking down the street, I don't see people yelling at someone because they need to go back to their country. Like I've never
don't,
seen that
man.
ever.
No.
all those videos that there's, even the Karen shit, I'm just like, I've not encountered. So it can't be that widespread. There's just a lot of videos because it's a worldwide
Web.
place. Yeah, place that you can go. So it's not that widespread. It just feels that way. It's not as bad as it is. It
right.
just feels
Yeah,
that way.
like it happens once or twice a day somewhere in the world.
Somewhere. Yeah.
I
But a
know.
baby dies every, 10, 15 minutes or some shit like
I
that?
don't
I,
even know.
yeah, I feel like it's more than that.
I think it's like,
Almost
less
definitely.
time
Yeah.
for sure.
I mean, not nearly enough though, with the way people are popping them out.
I would say we kind of need to up that,
Yeah.
go back to not washing our hands while
Up
giving
the
birth.
baby death rate.
So I feel like
No shit, dude. No.
people should stop yelling, like, "Go back to your country" or whatever, and just say, "Learn English."
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's the big frustration really with it. Because I mean, nobody yells at British people to go back.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
I can see that. I think too, because in the media starting to sway it as like, as far as the Asian cultures, they're getting, we're saying it to them because we feel like it was a Chinese disease and we're now racist towards Asian and shit like that. And I think I can agree with that. It's not so much, we're just so, I don't know, not unwilling to change that we're like, oh, you don't speak my language, and then fuck
egocentric.
you.
Yeah.
Right? You could
Yeah.
be anything. You could be Indian or Muslim or whatever. If you don't speak American,
Well, I mean, and I see people do it to people who do speak American. And they do it all the time. If you just slightly look differently, they think you shouldn't fucking be here, which is insane. 'Cause
Indeed.
at this point,
Yeah.
when you look at your
'cause people
genealogy,
from everywhere.
yeah, aren't you like all over the board like everybody else? You're Irish, Russian. You could have a little bit of African in you.
You
like
could have.
you could. So people saying like go back to that makes no sense. There's no basis in that.
They're
like,
just ignorant.
It's
it's
like
super
whenever people are
ignorant.
like, I was born here.
Yeah, absolutely.
do you
I'm an
mean?
American. Okay, let me. Okay, did it.
Yep, here I am. Now
just
will you
walk a
leave
little bit.
me
I've
alone?
arrived.
You know, the only time I've ever seen someone yelling at a British person, it was another British person. I believe they were, you know, in Britain. But,
Yeah.
you know.
You know.
But it was the same thing. It was, I mean, not necessarily go back to your country, but
Making us look bad, bro.
yeah, like you don't belong here. You don't look right or whatever. It was stupid.
You're from the wrong side of the tracks. Go back to Manchester.
I always
Filthy
say that,
man.
like, no matter how far down, which there are a lot more homeless now, I'll say that, but the further I go, like, into, like, Portland or Newburgh or whatever, the people are super nice. It don't matter, like, who they are or what background they have, you know what I mean? Like, but I think you give off that energy, you get that energy back. But for people who are looking for, like, okay, back before I ever did drugs, right? I was like, you know what would be really dope to do right now? MDMA. I'd really want to try ecstasy really bad. And guess what? About a month later, I found a guy who sold it by, like, the fucking baggie full.
Yeah.
And I took it all the time. I'm like, all right, I tried that. Now, and so on and so forth. Heroin, cocaine, I found it all. You know why? Because I put that out there.
Yeah,
I was
you
like, you don't
were
want to
in
find
it.
it. I let my visual landscape be nothing but like how can I find said drug,
Yeah.
and I found every one of them, bro. Even some I didn't want.
Trying to put it in my mind. How can I find intelligent people?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's that'd probably be harder to find, but I guarantee you put your mind space to it.
Drugs
it's gonna
are
happen.
easier to find than smart people.
Super
sure.
easy
Yeah.
to find.
I don't
But-
even know where you look for it. I was going to say the library, but it's
No.
public, so
Yeah,
definitely
it's
not.
just a bunch of poor people
Yeah.
reading
But-
Dr.
You're gonna-
Seuss.
Getting some AC on.
I have to go to Yale. I mean, it's about the only thing you can
Yale.
do. I gotta
Yeah.
check the
Fuck
foods.
Yale.
And they'd probably look down on me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Be like, who's
Look at
this
this
fucking
idiot.
loser?
Yeah.
No, but back to that, like if I only look for that. Now, I will say that watching the screen and seeing all these news reports and all these videos of all this bad shit, I think turns that switch over. Like, that's why I've been trying to battle with changing the mindset and changing myself, because I was headed down that path where you're only looking for the bad and you're going to find it, like,
Right.
quickly.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of those ignorant people that you see on there, it's like, go back to your country, or the Karens that yell about their food being wrong or whatever, they all, I think, go forth and look for it.
Yeah, that's true. Because it's easier than changing themselves.
Right. It's
And
easier than
it's
turning
it's
a mirror
a distraction based on simplicity and rage.
on.
And then rage is like one of the simplest based emotions that we have. So
It's very-
they're like,
yeah, it is,
I
right?
feel alive. Somebody else has to do the work, and I'm getting attention.
It is that would be the most basic, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it would be anger, because it's so easy to
Well, that or horny.
horny. Yeah, those two are the
I want to fuck her. I
basics.
want to pound shit to death with a hammer.
They like go hand in hand at
Yeah.
some point.
I'm gonna murder this person and have sex with it. And
All
then
at
you're
the
fine.
same time.
Yeah.
And I'm good.
Earlier we went to Starbucks and I had ordered this thing. It was like a, I don't know, vanilla latte thing or whatnot, you know. And it was supposed to be hot, but they gave it to me iced.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, all right, cool, thanks.
Now, okay, I was going to say, do you do that in all general situations? Like, let's just say you ask for no egg on your Egg McMuffin, right?
I see
Why
where
you
it's
would
going.
why you would do that? I don't know. That's just savage.
I just want a McMuffin.
But
Plain McMuffin.
if you did and they gave that to you,
Yeah.
would you just be like, fuck it? Why go through the motions of
Yeah, I
life?
mean, unless it's something that's absolutely disgusting to me,
I'd probably do it.
I'll do it. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's like, this is close enough.
We ordered these tacos, and it was like, if it has gluten-free, but I'd ask for like no flour tortilla, which I just thought gluten-free, you'll get it with no flour tortilla. And I got it, And that was something I noticed about myself. Like, I'm so, like, easygoing. I just, like, tore the thing up because, if you send it back, that's wasting all this food. And then you got to make their job harder and shit. And it's like, you could just easily peel it off and toss it.
And it's obviously hard enough when they can't get your order right. So why complicate it?
Why complicate it at this point? But that's, I would say, yeah, I'm more on that mind space. I wouldn't really fret about that shit. But
As long as it's, like you said, not something completely disgusting.
Yeah.
If I order a McDouble and it has mustard on it, I'm not fucking eating it. You
fucking
can fix it and make it right.
do you think like
That's
going
about it.
after like just the rage and those that simplest mindset they can possible is another way for them to like turn the attention away from the fact that they're going to die one day? I always feel like everything that we do in life is generally like, why do you try at work and build this career and shit? Is to get your mind off the fact that you don't fucking matter and you're going to die. Like,
So maybe whenever somebody's having a loud meltdown, you say, well, you're still going to die someday.
yeah.
And see if they stop and think about it.
I'll ask if it's a threat.
I'll even say that shit.
Sounds like a threat.
When we do work for like a
That's a
richer
promise.
customer,
Right.
like I always feel that way towards them. I'm like, it doesn't matter what, you're going to die just like me. Like if you're an asshole, it's cool, dude, because you're going to die as well. Like we're both going to end up in the ground and you're going to have nothing when you die and I'm going to have nothing.
Well, I had sex with your wife.
That's right.
I'm like, well, she's going to die too.
I
That
almost
dirty
never
whole.
think about death.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude,
I mean,
think about it so much.
occasionally, if it's brought up, I'll then think about it, but
Yeah.
no.
I always think
not
about just
usually.
like if you're just driving, bro, and you're fucking
Just driving your death on your mind.
It does. Like if it just cut out and then you're not existent, and it's so easy to be like, oh, well, it's okay because you wouldn't be here anymore. Okay, I get that, but like, just think about that. Like, how fucking weird all this 31 years that I've had on it, and all these things I've done and built and done, like, and it would all cease to exist in a matter of like a blink of an eye. Really, it would be done, and it would have felt like it was yesterday that I was born. Like, just the concept of death in this reality, in this universe, is out of this world. How could you fucking get mad that your order is fucking wrong at whatever restaurant, or be mad that somebody called you ma'am when you've changed your gender, or like any of the things that the small nitpick shit we do to each other, anything, or your lawn didn't get cut, you didn't pick up your sticks, or you got a thing you need to paint your roof because it's shitty looking. And I care because I'm part of the homeowners association, and that's what the fuck I say because I have a
people-
little bit of power.
Some people are just dicks, is what it comes down to.
Yeah, but
I feel like
I
that's
think
what
the
that
root
shit
cause
is.
of being a dick, though. That's what I'm
They're
saying.
just dicks.
I feel like it could also stem, though, from the fact that they have a limited amount of money and time.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you go somewhere and you want something specific, you're like, here, I'm giving you money for this. I'd like it to be as I'm asking for it to be.
Yeah.
As I noticed yesterday, like we started the day pretty fucking early, and went and did crap, and like the longer we were out, like the more frustrated with being out I
world.
was.
Yeah.
Because it was like, I feel like my Fridays are pretty much non-existent. Because I get home from work, I'll do what I do. I'll go to sleep for 2 or 3 hours, and I'll wake up, we'll have dinner, and I go back to sleep.
Then
So
they are-
bam,
yeah,
my
they are.
Friday's gone.
Gone.
Saturday is really the only day of the week that I have off that
Yeah.
it feels like a full day. Because, I mean, even
Sucks.
after this, it's like, well, I'm going to go home and nap, then I'm going to go work.
Yeah, because you're getting used to. You don't even have that day because you're trying to get used to not having it.
Yeah, so on Saturdays, it's just like, I want everything to be as efficient as possible.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, I only have about 14 hours of freedom.
No,
And then I
shit.
have to get back in the cycle of the grind.
Yeah.
So, but I also don't lash out at people.
Yeah, seriously. I could see that, though.
So the money scarcity could exacerbate. Is that how you say it?
Exacerbate? Mm.
Yeah, the situation. It could so the lack of money could make you very angry if things aren't exactly right that you use your money on.
Yes, another thing. God, yesterday while we were out, we were
Goddamn.
at Target, and the Chase website like was down. It was all fucked up. So I was trying to look at how much money I had in my accounts and shit, so I knew which card to use.
Yeah.
And it wasn't up. I was like, what the fuck? Because the shit was it said like may run slow because of low bandwidth, but I had 4 bars.
Oh man.
So she checked on her shit and it was still fucked up. So I mean, when it comes to things of money and time, it's just don't fuck with that shit.
Well, it's because money is so, like, that's what everything is based off of. We've gone, like, out of town, and not even far out of town, just like Indiana, like, and 2 hours away, let's say. And our car to get shut down because we didn't call ahead of time.
Yeah.
And it's always on a weekend, and you can't get a hold of the fraud people on the weekend. You have to do it on Monday morning. So your car's shut
Makes
down. You ain't
no
got no
sense.
cash out there, and you have nothing really. What option do you have at that moment aside from going home, grabbing cash, or just saying fuck the trip, or figure something out, have somebody wire you something maybe. But in those situations, it's extremely hard to keep your cool. I think what you do in the most extreme of situations, stuff like that, will tell you how you'll react once the world is like going, or there's tragedy in your life or whatever. It's how you handle those little. Imagine the Karens and shit in the world when the stuff starts breaking down and like it's every man for themselves and shit. Like there's gonna be like
some shit.
Yeah, man, it's gonna get really crazy because they're not gonna think like, how do we band together and like do it? It's gonna be every man for himself. In reality, like if the government crashes or whatever, or if an asteroid hits and there's some of us left, we can all band together and make some shit happen. Like, but I don't think that's gonna, because most people are very protective of their stuff.
Right.
And they're going to be like, you're not coming on my property.
Well, yeah, because I don't give a shit if other people survive. This is my shit for my survival.
Don't you think you need other people, though?
To an extent. But I mean, like with you guys, if you needed shit, I would share my shit with you. But if it's just some dude...
Some rando.
I've never seen you in my life.
Mr. Pillsbury walking down the street.
I think
Fuck away from my shit, Mr. Pillsbury.
Something that would tear me up as far as that's concerned is somebody who didn't not prepare themselves. I'm not saying be a prepper or anything like that, but if you have no skill in life, but like whatever you're to do, and you want to leech off of people who have, they just gained abilities through life.
I tell you right now, in a situation like that, I'm shooting them in the fucking face.
Hell yeah.
Just get it over with.
Right
So they don't
in
drag you down.
Yeah. I mean, if the world is crumbling around us, I don't give a fuck about laws, to tell you that right now.
No.
And that
No, I don't think you
is
should.
dead.
Yeah, you telling me you're worthless, but you want to survive? Not on my block.
Good fucking
Have
luck.
you ever seen the videos where there's take Lebanon. I always say it wrong. Where'd the shit explode? Beirut, or how do you say it?
Beirut?
Beirut. Fuck. I fuck it up no matter what. So Beirut, like they're crumbling. Lebanon is crumbling right now because their government borrowed all that money. Blah blah blah. They just are terrible. Their economy crashed, and people are like going hungry and fighting for the last gallon of milk and shit. All right. That's the situation. But you have a lot of like store owners and business owners like clinging to what is that called? The norms, like clinging to the status quo. Like I gotta open my business, so I gotta make money. Like what are we gonna do without money? So like people who cling on to how life was, they're gonna hurt a lot. You see that in Lebanon now.
That makes sense because you think, well, eventually things will get back to normal.
Yeah.
I don't want to throw away my
prepared.
shop.
Yeah. I got to be ready for when it gets back to exactly what we were doing.
Right.
Yeah.
And you still have to have some kind of flexibility, and I really feel like it's what, like the whole flipping out about stuff, like comes down to is like they have these expectations and they want it to be exact, or they're just stressed out, or both. I mean, and you have to have some kind of flexibility in life, or it's going to be a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
It's going to be terrible for you.
Bridges and skyscrapers gotta have some flexibility.
It's the simple-minded approach, though, is that they don't see beyond. They don't see any other outcome aside from like, I'm going to pay this money. It's going to come with a hamburger, cheese, ketchup, and a pickle. And if it doesn't, I'm going to flip my shit because I'm simple. Like I can't think beyond. I can't
I just
adapt.
like, couldn't you just be like,
Pickle.
hey, this isn't how I wanted it? Do you have to be, you piece of shit,
fucking
worthless motherfucker? I hope you die on the way home. Is that necessary over some cheese on your burger? I don't think it is.
If it's the same guy that made it last week and ruined it then too,
Yes,
maybe.
I had a customer, man, get in my face. Like, she almost went to blows, man. And I was so extreme. Like, in that moment, I felt okay about myself. I was like, I'll be all right, man. Because, I mean, just fucking yelling and just spit coming out of her mouth and shit. And she was so close to swinging on me, right? And the entire time, I was calm as a fucking cucumber, cool as a cucumber, cool as a fan, whatever you want to say, right? That's how I was. I was just like, yes, ma'am. I still handled it professionally. Sure enough, we got the job done. She was happy, and she thanked me afterward. I mean, from blows, like in the face, to happy with the service that she was given. But somebody has to be calm in that. Hopefully there's enough people to be calm in the situation and think it out strategically that will outweigh the people who are losing their shit.
Instead of everyone just running around on 10, flipping out and shit.
I've seen so much more get done with people who are like, come up to you and like apologetically and shit. I've seen so much more get done with that than people that are straight up like, no, fuck that. You messed up, and you're gonna know about it.
When people would come in my office yelling and shit, like I did something, but just let them wear themselves down, and then they're like, "All right, thank you."
Oh, you
I'm
Muhammad
sorry.
Ali them.
Hell yeah,
you rope-a-dope them.
absolutely. And then you just hit them with a left hook, and you're done.
Are you done now? All right.
All right. So what can we do to fix this situation?
Also, I'm going to charge you an extra 10% for being a dick.
Yes.
That's right.
It's just cash though, so everyone would come in with like $10 in their pocket because they knew.
You know, it's something I was driving the other day and thinking about. I called her because I was like, "This is weird. I don't know how this thought comes up because it's actually a stupid thought." But I was like, the moon has been floating in the sky for billions and billions of years, right? The moon's been just floating along, relatively unchanged, aside from a few impact craters, right? Relatively unchanged since the Earth's been here. Could you imagine seeing through the eyes of the moon the world and how much has changed and the continents that moved and the people that create and destroy and create and destroy?
Well, to be fair, we don't know how long the moon's been there or how it even got there.
Yeah, I would say there's debate over that too, right?
To me. I love that.
I know.
And the older I get, the
to
more
see the progress.
Yeah, I was just saying how cool it would be like to be up there and see it on a faster timeline to where you could see the shit morph through like a telescope so that you could watch the people create and destroy and see how far they get technologically before they just fucking blow each other to oblivion. And you're like, the moon's like, I know it's coming. I fucking know it's coming.
Do you think it's possible to make an explosion so large that it takes out the moon also?
Oh yeah, dude. If you think about like
bigger
all the just on like atomic weapons alone, I think all the uranium you could find, all the plutonium you could find, and just blow that shit up for
Plutonium.
sure. Is plutonium like a fake one of those cartoon things? Plutonium's a real thing,
I think
right?
so,
Yeah, it's a real element.
It just sounds
okay.
fake as shit.
When you said it, because I was like, plutonium sounds like something from a cartoon. So and then you said it, I'm like, uh-oh.
Oh,
I think that
man.
almost every
done it.
time we bring up plutonium or uranium, I'm like, it just sounds fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds real fake.
Real fucking fake.
It sure isn't. It's big enough to explode another satellite.
They
Murder.
murder.
Moon murder.
But you could. I think if you blew all that shit up, like the SARS bomba, that one, the biggest one. That shit, I mean, shook the other side of the earth. So I think, and that, I mean, it's not nearly as big as we can make it. We can make it probably fucking as big as a state, and then you're done. Like, but it's a wonder we don't. I mean, think about that, right? That's not the last atomic bomb. Not saying that there's going to be another atomic bomb, but
There's certainly some that exist.
yeah, there's going to be like the something, an economic weapon or
It sucks
disease.
money.
Yeah.
There's going to be another atomic bomb race of sorts, right? Whether that's like with I don't know. You wouldn't be able to tell because they didn't know what atomic bombs were when they were making them. You know what I mean? But there's going to be another thing like that that's like, oh shit, this can end humanity.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be like the UFO shit.
Like just
Well, because
us trying to create a UFO.
Yeah, like and getting the technology. Because with them, they're talking like, oh, we didn't make this. We don't know how the fuck they're doing it.
Oh yeah,
But if it's not alien, then it's Russia or China.
yeah.
And then
it's all
if a country were to get that kind of technology, it would be done.
done, yeah, and that's the scary fucking thing, dude. Because whoever's holding the gun wins. Like at the end of the day, like who's holding the gun, motherfucking wins.
We
Okay,
could-
how much money you got? You ain't got a gun.
We
you gonna
could be
gonna
at the
fight my boys?
beginning.
We gonna-
We could be at the beginning of that for real right now. Perhaps them
You could
putting
be.
stuff out about aliens and UFOs is the beginning of it.
Ain't that weird to think
It's the
about?
beginning of the end, y'all.
You know
Yeah.
the people back then when they were creating Fat Boy and Little Guy or whatever the fuck we dropped on Hiroshima, like
don't
when
know
they
what
were
that one was
making the first fucking atomic bomb, they didn't know what the fuck. Nobody knew. They were like, oh, they test weapons all the time. It's just normality.
Yeah.
And then they come up with this fucking thing that lit. I mean, those people back then thought like the world was ending after the first one.
Well, yeah.
Like, people
It
are
pretty much
fucking,
was.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like end of times. Like immediately they were like this. I forgot who. Maybe it was a philosopher, but anyways, who was there for the first atomic
Wasn't
bomb
it,
and the way
Oppenheimer, is that his name?
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was a quote by him that I paraphrased like a motherfucker because I don't know the exact one, but it was like pretty much like this. We're in the end of days. Like when you have something like that, that's a god weapon, really. You know what I mean?
Robert Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer.
Look at me.
Yeah,
at you.
that would be a god weapon. But we're on the precipice of another. But we don't know. You don't know when you're about to like stumble upon something that's just that grand. They didn't know. You know what I mean?
You know,
Indeed.
you never know until it's happening.
You never know until you know.
It is a fat man and little boy.
Fat man, little boy.
That's crazy. I knew fat man. Little
Yeah.
boy sounds.
Gay?
Rah.
Oh,
Yeah, a little weird.
Yeah, definitely
Aw, you
perverted.
got nuked to death by little boy.
Maybe that's why they did it. They're sitting around like a big round table laughing at different names of how funny it would be to be nuked by blank. And they're like, little boy.
Little boy got him.
So, I was at a job the other day. One of my favorite customers. She owns like fucking 1 million ducks, 1 million chickens, fucking pigs.
It's like a rescue for
farm
pigs
animals and
and
shit.
goats and shit.
She don't like eat them. She only eats like eggs and stuff that come from the geese. But dude, she was having like a regular ass conversation with me. I was just like, it caught me totally off guard. She was like, yeah. So I don't know exactly the terms for these ducks and chickens and shit like that. But on the ducks and geese side, right? She said that there's like a pimp usually that gets to fuck all the female ducks and geese, right?
I thought you were saying they exchange money, and
Oh,
there's
no.
one that oversees all of it.
No,
It's like a
yeah.
human pimp for all
And
these ducks.
Well, and she said it's something weird. Like it's the one that decides who gets the mate, I guess, right? But she called them something else. I tried to get the names, but like she only has a certain amount of female like gooses, right?
Goose
And apparently
Goose eye.
they rape the shit out of these geese. Rape the shit out of anything that they find. They take their beak and they grab them by the back of the neck, and just all the geese that are allowed to fuck all at one time. And they, I mean, she had to put one down because they ran through her so hard. Didn't ask no questions. Just like, and the only female she has left has like no feathers down the back of her neck and shit, and she looks raggedy
So
now.
nobody wants to hit
But
it.
she needs to keep the female ducks
Like away,
separated.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
just cruel.
But I thought the savagery, in the duck world or the goose world was crazy. I was like, why is rape so accepted? But I'm like thinking of them if they're like sentient or they're human.
Like they're baby humans.
Yeah, like
like they're sad they don't have pants.
That's all I want. If I had pants, I'd stop raping.
Yeah, but I feel like
Or at least rape less.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not gonna stop.
people rape, and rape would be prevalent, and child molestation would be prevalent, and homosexuality is prevalent, and it's accepted now. I'm not putting those on the same line at
Sure
all. That's
sounds
not what I'm
like
saying.
it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the
Just
different
tuning in.
things
Adam
compared
hates
to what
homos.
people think is like normal, like man and woman, bedroom, consummate the marriage, have sex once a year, like people like normal bullshit,
I
right?
thought it was like man, woman, bedroom, bathroom.
But all those like norms in the animal world are shattered. I mean, they have sex with like young fucking thing. They rape. There's homosexuality. There's no hose bars in the animal community. They
It's
don't give a
all
shit.
legal.
That's right.
All legal, right?
Yeah.
So that
Tables, ladders, and chairs.
I was
y'all.
talking to her about it. Like, that's the difference in like humans. She was like, humans have the ability to know the right and the wrong and what feels good, what feels bad, and shit like that. In the animal kingdom, they have no, like, there is no filter. There is no, like, oh, this could be wrong or whatever. I wonder what inside of us started that to begin with. Like,
Right, like how the evolution began.
yeah. Like,
What are you talking about? Adam and Eve.
Oh, I get it.
All
I
right,
get
that's
it.
the end of episode 114.
I hope Jesus smites the shit out of me. No, but that's it. It's just baffling to me. Like, I know that at one time we were barbarians. We were, yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Neanderthals.
We operated on the laws of nature.
Yeah, and there was
Instead
no.
of- there was no
none of
stepping
that.
outside of ourselves. It was just, well, here's this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in the history books and shit, they always depict like a male Neanderthal and a female, and they're usually like, ooh, and they're together, and they kind of show them in a good light. But back then, that dude didn't ask. Like the male didn't ask. He just grabbed her. Like,
Ooh,
you ain't
want
going
fuck.
nowhere. Yeah, hit her in the head with a fucking club, knock her out. Like, they didn't ask, but they depict it as if like we've always been this way. Have we? I don't think we have.
I doubt it.
No, man. We were just raping and murdering and...
Although, you know, like in different animal, I guess packs will say, you know, it's understood that the dude leader plows the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's at least some level of understanding of that general idea.
Like that alpha in the situation.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you don't get to fuck this. Come on.
Well, and that's what she was kind of saying, that like the pimp was the lead male of all of them, and you could even see it. That lead male would walk around, and the three behind it would just walk wherever he went, but always behind him. And I'm like,
Pimp
that's crazy,
daddy.
because they looked the same. Like they were just as big as one another. They had the same webbing. They had the same beak. All that shit. Nothing was like differentiating them, other than this one was just like, you're gonna follow me. Or gonna beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Beak the shit out of you.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It was just weird. I was in a weird, and she was so nonchalant about it. I'm like, we're talking about duck rape here. Like,
And duck
should we
pimps.
call somebody? Like, should
For
somebody
real.
be called and we write up a report about these ducks?
She should be called, and she should separate the female duck because that's rude.
It was a very
kinds of
rude.
rude.
I felt so bad. And then the duck was
I'm
like,
just here for them eggs.
the other like female was just like cleaning herself, and she was like, ooh, eating just like the rest of them. Like, how can you just be normal like that, dude? Look at the back of your neck. They're raping the fuck out of you. So weird.
She's like, well, really, I want to reproduce too. So if this
Yeah.
is how it has to be,
It's in my coding too.
It's a hard
that
life.
rape code
Rape code.
sounds terrible. Absolutely horrible.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Nature don't care. Why should we?
I
No.
guess. It hurts me. I was hoping it wouldn't get brought up. It hurts me to think about.
Yeah.
I hate it. It makes me sad.
On the way to Indiana today, I was listening to Alan Watts. Of course, he shows up a lot on my thing. I think it's the algorithm shoving it down my throat. But
You take it. You
The
love
Allen rhythm.
uh, not as good as mine. No, I'm
It's
just
not.
joking.
You're right.
But they were talking
Speak her
about
up.
the Buddhists have like analogy. So yeah, an analogy, right? That like pain is you can't get away from pain. You're gonna go through pain.
Unavoidable.
Unavoidable. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And suffering is by choice, right? So you pain, you're gonna have that through life. Life is pain, whatever. But suffering is the only thing that we can decide against, right? And he put it in like an analogy of being shot by two bows or by two arrows, right? The first one you never saw coming because you didn't expect to get hit by a fucking arrow
Right.
in the 21st century. You just got hit in the thigh with an arrow, right?
Yeah.
But now that you're aware of the first arrow, you know to be watching out for other arrows. Lo and behold, you see another arrow come. Suffering is letting the second arrow hit you, right?
Sounds about
Which is
right.
really good.
Yeah.
And I think about that. A lot of times during the day, you felt like walked on or somebody talked shit or whatever. You feel like you didn't do enough or whatever. But dwelling on it and shit like that, that's the suffering end of it, right?
Yeah.
Or if you had a tragedy, like having to take you to the hospital and shit, and you're almost like bleeding out like a weird vampire,
No.
they fuck.
It's not
like,
going anywhere.
Yeah, I can either choose to like take that pain, let's fucking like hit it head on and do it, or I can like cry and whine like a bitch.
Did you
and
say
it's
let's
suffering.
fuck?
No, I said
Yeah.
I can take that
Yeah.
pain and
And let's fuck.
and choose
let's
to do it.
fuck. Let's do
Oh, maybe
this.
I did, but it was like a
It's supposed to be like, let's fucking do this.
Let's fucking
but
do
you
this,
said,
yeah.
let's fuck and,
And
do,
do
this.
this.
oh, there was a pause. The pause was too long. But let's fuck too, I guess. I mean, ducks rape each other, babe.
Yeah, can't we fuck?
We can't fuck when you're dying of blood loss,
Oh, shit.
bleeding out.
As long as it's not coming out of there, it's fine.
My blood works fine.
My blood's fine. No, but I thought about that, dude, because a lot lately, because I think we go through ebbs and flows as we're like getting older and shit, because there's things that are 25, I'm just like, yeah, worried about now that I'm not. Now I have new worries or really no motivation here, there, whatever. And I feel like that's something that I do is like things that have happened far in the past, dude. I'll be driving around and I'll let it fuck my day up. I'm like, fuck, man, like I missed these
called-
opportunities or this or that. That's
It's called ruminating.
yeah. And that is allowing the suffering. Like that's choosing.
Yeah,
that's literally
absolutely.
choosing to suffer. Mm-hmm. So like, what am I gonna do with the fact that like, you know, what I said, whatever, like that I fucking used drugs, went to prison and all that shit. Like, what else am I, you know, how am I gonna make that better for myself or for my family, whatever?
Learn your lesson. Don't do it again and move on.
Yeah.
I say we've done that one. We started a company.
Yeah.
That's
I
what you
just-
did with it.
I wonder, like, do you have any tips for people who go through that and just like cannot get out of it, and then it leads to depression and shit like that? Like, what do you do when there is no way out? You know what I
Kill
mean?
yourself.
That's what I was.
There's always a way out, though.
You know, I'm
Yeah.
on that one.
Yeah.
I know. It's just a matter of are you willing to do it?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I was saying my buddy was talking about somebody he knows, and that he was always mad because he was always offering like, well, you want to lose weight, let's stop eating this, but the person kept choosing to eat the wrong things, and
Right,
even
it'd be
though the
like-
buddy was gonna like feed, like cook, and
Don't understand.
do stuff like that, the other person chose to do the fast food route and shit like that. And you kind of see it in a visual aspect, like, holy shit, like that is, and I think we do, everybody does it to a certain extent because we don't want it. I mean, it sucks dick to change, but
Well, and sometimes it's just easier to do it a certain way than do
Yeah.
whatever it is.
No.
It's easier sometimes to eat fast food than it is to cook. That's
Yeah.
always easier.
easier not to go to the gym. It's easier to go home and chill out on the
Chill,
couch
yeah.
than it is to go to the gym or lose that weight. And so I think weight's the only thing, you know, it really comes down to anything you want to change.
Saving money.
Yeah.
Saving money, that's another one, yeah. Spending on frivolously. Is that the word, frivolously?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
the
cool.
one.
Yep, that's the one, that's it.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. I was just always wondering that because I've noted I'm like self-aware in that sense. Like I think you have to be self-aware, but not harp on being self-aware because I'm like I've been like that lately. I've been like, you know, even like past shit, like definitely stuff in the present, But I'll even take like past shit. I'll bring it back to the front of my mind, and I'll just harp on them like, what was I thinking in that situation? You know?
Do you conclude anything?
I think I'm concluding now is the fact that I don't think you should think about the past because technically it doesn't exist, right?
Right.
It only exists somewhere far deep in this gray matter.
Well, and at this point, like, I assume that whatever is done is done. Like, can you do anything to fix it? Are you willing
yeah,
to do that? If, do something to fix it or
don't
that's
quit
it.
bitching about
Shut
it.
the fuck up.
Right?
And I think our self-talk, dude, like that mind. Remember that comedian was like, "Oh, sing happy birthday to yourself," but you can hear it, nobody else can. Like, where the fuck is that noise coming from? That thing that talks, whatever that thing is, I think it's hard to get away from sometimes. For a lot of people, it's hard to get away from.
I think a lot of it, too, is like it becomes a habit. So, I mean, it's like toxic shame, basically. You're shaming yourself into being the certain
That's a
way.
habit
If you
as
think
well.
negativity constantly, I mean, you don't,
Yeah.
at a certain point, it's almost like you lose your ability to think in a different way because, well, this is
Where
just
you're stuck
how
in
I
that
think.
rut of thought.
Yeah.
Meditate
That's
and
crazy.
get out of it.
Hell yeah. But it'll take a while for sure.
Yeah.
It's not like tomorrow you're going to be like, great, I'm positive again. Thank you.
Yeah.
Woo.
And that's another one too. I don't think a lot of people give anything enough time. Like, so I have a lot of buddies actually. Quite a few buddies that they'll go to like start something, right? But if they don't see the immediate,
results.
I worked out 3 times. Why didn't I lose 20 pounds?
yeah, or why don't I feel better mentally, or why don't I, whatever the case may be, or I took these whatever brain pills that Joe Rogan had fucking said on his podcast, but I don't feel any better.
Didn't do
like,
anything.
Yeah.
I don't feel fucked up.
Yeah, like, well, have you read anything?
But you get what I'm saying? I think that's another one too, is if the...
I want it now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of our biggest diseases as Americans. That want to want it now.
Short term. What's that word?
Gratification.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh. Hey.
Yeah, that's some motherfucker. Short-term gratification. That's I know they say like put short milestones in front of you so that you can hit them and feel good. But that's rough. I think that's I said on the podcast last one or the one before about like I wouldn't recommend a lot of my buddies to start a company because the thought of it is so good. But it actually sucks dick. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll say it's nothing compared to the thought that you created in the beginning. It's nothing compared to that, right? It'd be totally different.
Nothing sucks about it.
No, I
That's
know,
just
but
me.
and that's what the case is because you build this like image, and it's never gonna hit that image. So don't build an image. You either do or don't, and you either do or don't.
Yeah. Right?
There you go.
But don't build it up in your head. Don't romanticize.
It's that Yoda shit.
Yeah.
It was Yoda too.
There is no try. Oh, it was. Look at y'all.
Inadvertently.
Aw.
Aw.
Have you ever looked like at how many calories you burn doing like certain activities? If that's
A little
not,
bit.
I mean, gonna turn you away from exercise, I don't know what the fuck is. I swear to God, I went to the gym with him like a couple times a long time ago, and they tell you like 20 minutes on the elliptical or on the.
Oh, it's so
It's
little.
like 200 calories. I was like, that's not even a fucking candy bar. Why would I do this? I'll eat fewer candy bars. I just
Will you though?
absolutely not.
You have
no.
to say, come on.
Well,
That's
that's the
why
kind of
they're
thing
all
like
gone.
I found it worked best whenever I would just have a routine of it. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go enjoy the process. So I would listen to music and it's like, okay.
I hate the process. I hate the activity. I hate how hot it makes me, how sweaty it makes me, how
I
much I
think
can't
you
breathe.
should turn like everything you do into a meditative practice. I think we're enjoying the process, like they say, enjoy the process, because the process is a meditative experience for a lot of people. Like that hard work, that breaking your back trying to get there, and then you get there and stuff. Like the whole process was meditative for them, right? Like listening to music and working out, right? You get in that zone, you're not thinking about much, and that's it. Like you work out that stress and frustration. I think that's like what the process is. It's that meditative state that you get in when you're doing something.
Plus, then with the idea of like, all right, well, I'm gonna do 10 reps here, and then you get to the end, you're like, yeah, I'll do 2 more.
Yeah, dude. And then you get progress is what you feel there. You're like, oh shit, I did 2 more than I said I was going to.
Yeah.
Now I'm progress.
And
Now you're even better.
Then you set the norm as 12, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. So.
But then your muscles rip and your arms fall off and you
fuck
die.
this. Fuck it.
That sounds terrible. Look, it's a good idea though for just in general life. Enjoy the process. Like, make everything meditative. That's how you can stop ruminating. Just be here. I'm driving, and that is a meditative thing for me.
You know,
or whatever.
I started doing where I don't drive. Like, I'll try to limit the amount of videos I watch as far as people like Russell Brand or the Second Thought that I watch and shit like that I tell you about shit. Or music. What I'll do is I'll put on these, I don't know, they're just like tones and notes and whatever.
It's like Enya.
Yeah, they put. It's not even like that, because that is even like structural music. This is more just like sound in general, and it just kind of gets you like zoned out of your head, right?
Yeah, it's just different hertz.
Yeah, pretty much just played to get. You know what I mean? And it's
Hell yeah.
there's no thought
I
to
like
it or
that song.
nothing. You just zone out and let your eyes follow the road and whatever.
Yeah.
And I found that's like I feel better after I get done driving there than if I'm learning something terrible about something
Right?
America
Gets y'all
did.
jacked up and stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, even the music, sometimes it's good to take a break and not listen to nothing. You know, I know it's still tones and shit, but it's enough to put you in that meditative state to just be like, fuck everything, dude.
Yeah.
Just, like, shut up everything in your mind and everything around you.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So you're gonna have like a smart, stupid person say, "See, the key is not thinking. Thinking ruins your life." You're like, no.
The earth is flat.
Dude, isn't it though?
Oh, did somebody come up with that?
I'd say it is.
Jesus.
Jesus!
It certainly is. I mean, it has to be. Nothing else makes sense.
Uranus has methane.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, damn. Uranus.
Uranus.
We were talking about planets the other day, which they all just blow my mind. I feel like there's a lot about the solar system and planets that I should know that I just have no fucking clue of.
Yeah.
But I had asked him if all planets have like their own atmosphere,
Yeah.
and we got to talking about just how the makeup of different planets would basically determine what your atmosphere is like. That's why you can only we can only live on this one as of now. I wonder though if it's possible for us to evolve to where we can live in a different environment. I mean, it would take millions of
It would
years
take
probably.
forever,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Like one day we could live on Uranus, but as of now we can't.
Yeah,
You
you'd
just
have
go
to
there and scoop up all the diamonds.
Those Uranus diamonds.
It's like something about their atmosphere, whatever. Like it rains diamonds.
Dude, that's fucking
Oh,
cool.
no shit.
I remember-
Their atmosphere.
Yeah.
That's
very
I think
cool.
that's you think about the process of evolution and how things adapt and whatever. That's just so weird to think that if you slowly introduce like methane, eventually you'd
Yeah.
have a human that could withstand. You'd have new animals that could withstand methane in the air, like a balance of methane and oxygen, and then
But
just
there's
pure
a fart
methane.
bird.
Talk about a long timeline. We came in. Motherfuckers want shit to happen tomorrow. They want all the world's problems to be fixed. Can you imagine telling somebody, you know how long it take?
For real.
500 generations to get that, and they'd be like, I don't even know what minutes are.
Yeah, talking about things historically, it just makes it seem like, all right, well, and then they did this. And then this went on for 5 generations, and then this happened.
Yeah. Well, they teach what?
And then it's just like it makes everything seem like it happened so fast.
Yeah.
And you don't think, oh my God, there were 4 generations that didn't see the end of this.
Yeah. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
That was just reality from beginning to end for them.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucked up. Like, at least for us, we have this rapid change in technology, and we can see the change while we're at it. Like, shit's happening on a crazy scale.
Yeah.
But I think, too, they teach us that when we're young and we don't understand the concept of time truly. And even when you're older,
For
you
sure.
don't understand time truly. You understand it linearly.
Linearly.
There you go. It is hard to say. But you don't
Linearly.
truly understand it. And I think them showing us history and how it is on a timeline as we're young, we're just like, fuck it. We learned it in 2 days. It happened in 2 days. You know, it's
For
crazy.
sure. Well,
Weird.
and to hear, 1861, it sounds like it's not real.
It's not real.
Because, I mean, I
Right.
didn't experience it.
No.
So, the shit like that is just
When we
trippy.
read that thing about something happening like 560 something,
Yeah.
I was like, how is that
Is
even
that a real time?
Yeah. Motherfuckers don't even know what fucking happened 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago. How you going to tell me what the fuck happened in Jesus' time before we had a calendar looking
Right.
at? Man, it's crazy stuff. You'd be like, but these pages, they tell you all that needs to be told.
It's
Do
right
they?
here.
Do they?
Do they?
Can you
do
prove
they?
it?
Prove that shit, you asshole.
As a matter of fact, I can.
Oh, shit, son.
Oh,
No,
I
can't.
hope Jesus comes down one time and like picks me up, like shakes the shit out of me. He's like, walk with me,
I'm
motherfucker.
real.
He takes me up to see other motherfucking angels that are like carpeting and fucking blacksmithing
So
and
word
shit.
on the street is his name was Joshua.
Joshua?
Yeah.
Who?
I hate that name.
Because, it was like the original was Yeshua,
Yeah.
and the translation of
Yeah.
that is, so,
It's Jesus?
yeah.
Oh,
Joshua
okay.
died for your sins.
Josh.
Josh, ooh, ah.
Joshua.
I hate that fucking name so
Josh
much.
just
say
walked
Josh.
around the desert and
Good
had
old-
his dudes.
Does anyone know a good carpenter? Yeah, call my guy Josh.
Yeah, Josh is the best.
Josh. No, man.
Yeah,
I'm not ready to eat me some motherfucking food.
that's right.
Oh,
Oh,
that was terrible.
goodness.
I'm
Well,
sorry, people.
You yelled into the microphone.
I know. I thought I went further, but anyways.
No, you're
No,
like
man.
right here.
Thank you for listening to episode 114, man.
Hey now.
We really
114,
appreciate you
114.
stopping by.
Oh, why do you think old people smell?
Man, I think it's the creams and shit they use, and they don't wash
Yeah.
themselves as well.
It's definitely that. I don't care about how I smell. My skin feels nice and my bones don't ache.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Also,
man.
I assume their sense of smell has been deteriorated.
Depleted,
So
yeah.
they're like, oh, it's like whenever Thos listens to TV really loud. He's like, that's not loud.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Shit.
You're deaf.
Yeah, for real.
And maybe like the way they clean themselves, the smells they use and shit. I mean, they're used to, what if I use the same thing I'm using right now when I get older, I'll smell pretty fucking good.
So that's what I
Maybe
was
they didn't
gonna
use
ask.
a bunch of shit back then like we do, perfumes and colognes. Maybe that was for like higher class people, so nobody worried about it.
Yeah,
Purple and fragrance.
that's
Yeah,
right.
dude.
And food.
They're like, I took a shower. That's good for 5 days.
So you think that if we got to if we make it to being old, that we won't smell like old people as long as we properly
don't-
clean ourselves?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think.
Keep
I
using
think,
gain.
I think
Yeah.
what we
Yeah.
smell is like a generation of people who smelled that way.
Yeah.
And then we're going to smell all of our smells when we get older. But young people are like, what is
Oh, yeah, they
Fierce from
smell like-
Abercrombie?
oh, they smell like
God.
old people.
That smells so old. Nice, man. Well, I hope you learned something today, or at least have a topic that you can talk shit about in the comments. Buckin, thanks for stopping by. Cheeto Puffs and butt stuff, man.
That's
Butt
right.
stuff and Cheeto Puffs.
I haven't had Cheeto Puffs for a while.
Oh,
you
you should
about to
get you
have
some of
some.
those.
Right after I put my
What?
fingers in your asshole.
That's right.
That's
No.
that's the cost.
Thank you
is.
so much. I'm Adam. That's Ian. That's
Oh,
Sarah.
Sarah.
Thank you
Oh,
for
that's
stopping
off.
by. Eat shit and die.
Skibbity bop
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba,
bop. Skibbity bop
shit,
bop.
bye. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Skibbity
Wildly
bop.
uninteresting podcast.
Podcast.